Are huge changes coming? Are huge changes coming? Hello, y'all. I'm Dianna Brianne. I don't give advice, suggestions, information, recommendations. I just share with you my perspective and how I see my life, okay? Well, I hope you like, share, subscribe to all 5 of my channels. Links are pinned at the top of the comments section below. Are there huge changes coming? You know, it's been a very different last month. As I've talked about in other videos, I've always had the gift of knowing, of sensing. I'm not psychic. I'm nothing like that. I'm not an intuitive, although I have great intuition. But I have this gift of what I call knowing. I don't know if there's actually a term called knowing or if it's something that I just came up with. But it's the best way to describe it. I get an inner sense of knowing something is going to take place. And I've had this so many times in my life, over and over and over. It could be to prepare myself for an opportunity, or it could be something that I needed to navigate around, avoid, or actually have to go through. And so I listen to that inner speaking in my soul. And it's different than intuition. Intuition is sort of being hypersensitive to what's going on around you. You're very alert, you're very aware of even things that you can't visually see. But a knowing is sort of knowing stuff that you have no way of knowing. And you may not even be sure of why you feel the way you do. Now, as you all know, I have been going through my house for about a month now, and here's some paint. I just talked about it in another video about I'm going to paint my bathroom. Now, we have no intention of moving anywhere. I love my home. I hope I live here my whole life. I do. I hope we live here forever. I love where we live. And yet, all the things I'm doing are as if we are getting ready to move. I mean, we have sorted through things, we've organized things, we've boxed up things, not in the sense of moving, but more in the sense of organizing. Now I've moved it to the next level of, going to room, and if there's paint that needs touched up, to touch up the paint. If there's a spot on the rug, to get rid of that spot or replace it or something along that nature. So why am I doing that? Honestly, I don't know. Maybe it's just for my old age, to make things simpler and easier as we get older, that these things will not need to be done at the level that we needed to do them now. Our attic, for example, had about 30 years of things that we had collected along the way that we didn't use, that we had no need for the most part. And we got rid of most of those things, either donated them, or if no one had wanted them, for the recycling or to the trash, and the rest we organized. I labeled, I boxed up, things like that. But I've had this very strong feeling to organize, to get prepared. Prepared for what? We don't plan on moving. But I've always listened to that inner voice that I've had, that inner voice. It could be for a great opportunity that's going to come, take up a lot of time, and that I won't have time to do these things. Or as I said, maybe this is a long-term goal for when my husband and I get older. I'm in my 60s, so is my husband. My husband's 5 years younger than me. Maybe so that we don't have to climb all the steps, and would be trying to pull out stuff out of the attic when we're 80 years old. All of that will be done. It will be streamlined so that we can live out our life basically on one floor if we wanted. And, keeping things simple. So that could be it too. I've had this gift of knowing, and I've talked about it in so many other videos. And I'm not psychic. I'm not nothing like that. And it's, like I said, it's not intuition exactly, because intuition is different. This is kind of just a feeling deep inside of me. Sometimes I have been directed to go places or do things, or knew that something was coming in the mail, or knew that an opportunity was coming. Just like when I met my husband, I talked about that in another video called When I Met My Husband. The day that I met my husband, I could feel his presence with me before I'd even met him. It was overpowering, overwhelming. It was consistent. It would not go away. And that night I met my husband. Prior to that, the job that led up to me meeting my husband was, and he didn't work at where I worked. He just happened to come through that particular night. But leading up to that, I was led. I kept driving around the place that I wanted to work. I kept driving every day. It didn't make any sense to me to drive around and to drive on my lunch break. I did before I went back to work. I would drive around, and it was kind of a large place. So it would take me about 20 minutes to, kind of encircle it. And I did this probably for about 2 weeks, pretty much every day. So I applied for a job near there. And I actually got called to work at this other place, but something told me no. Well, prior to that, I had walked in back when we had payphones, because this is a long time ago, and I wasn't even on the place where I wanted to work, but I was nearby it. It turned out to be that place was connected to that other place. And I walked in there to use the payphone, and I started talking to the woman. And she said, well, I'll send you over to where they hire people. I said, oh, no, that's okay. You don't have to inconvenience yourself. And she did. And before I knew it, I was going through a gate and got in, got the job. I mean, just amazing. But so I didn't take the other job because I knew instinctively I was going to get a job at this other place. And so what I'm saying is I listen to my intuition. Sometimes it doesn't make sense to me or to anybody else. And I balance it with common sense reasoning. I balance it out. I make sure that, it's not loony or something like that. Make sure that it's common sense. I mean, for me to go through and organize my house is actually a good thing, even if we never move, even if we never, do anything, like an opportunity, even if nothing took up my time other than going back to school in June. Maybe that's it. Since I'm postponing going back to school until June, as y'all know, I'm a college student at 64 years old, but I postponed it till June. And so, maybe it's just that we just want to be organized. It could be something as simple as that. And yet I listen to what I call soul speak, or the knowing, what I feel inside of me. And periodically I get these feelings. It could be about, like I said, an opportunity. It could be about something to avoid. It could be about something that could happen. Maybe I don't always know the details, but I feel it. I feel the presence, good or not so good. And it sort of prepares me. I just had so many of these experiences in my life, enough to know to listen. Even my husband's a believer of that gift that I have, because when we first met, he used to say, oh, and then he learned that every time I was right. When I remember one time, and I was talking about this the other day in a video, when I knew something was coming, some information was coming, some great information was coming, and I kept going to the mailbox, but it wasn't, I just felt that it was coming. And even though no one else really felt that it was coming, I felt that it was coming. I knew it was coming. This is years ago. And there it was, that information came, but it didn't come through the mail, but I thought it was just, I kept checking the mailbox. It's sort of like me painting, maybe we're not moving, maybe nothing like that. Maybe it's just an opportunity that's going to take up a lot of my time, a great opportunity. And I'm going to be busy with that opportunity, and these things I won't have time for. Who knows? But I believe in listening to that subtle voice or strong voice. Sometimes it comes very strong. We sense something. I believe in balancing it out with common sense and our minds. And yet I listen to my soul, because my soul has always been right. It has always been right, even when my mind couldn't figure it out, didn't understand it. Just like the tree, like I talked about in the video the other day, or in the video called Miracle House, the Miracle House, where the tree roots 20 feet under the house broke the sewage plumbing, and sewage was going all over the place. But prior to that, 4 or 5 days prior, I told my husband, we're moving. I said, I don't know why we're moving, but we're moving. And it was a house that was connected to his job, so we didn't own the house. And so when the maintenance came, well, my kids come running in and they said, Mommy, there's stuff going down the driveway. And I called the maintenance. They came over. They said, ma'am, you've got to move. 20 feet under the ground, the tree roots broke the plumbing. Now, how in the world would I have ever known the tree roots were going to break the plumbing? But prior to that, I felt the same kind of energy where I was just putting things away, organizing, all of that. And so, I mean, this has gone on my whole life. I've had this gift since I was little. So it's not psychic ability as far as, what I think people consider psychic, where they can predict the future, because I don't predict the future. What I do is I get a sense of what I'm supposed to do. So me organizing and painting and getting our house pristine, maybe it's just because, well, we're getting older and this kind of stuff we don't want to be doing when we're older. And so having the house just exactly the way we want, we can relax, kick back, travel, do the fun things that we want, and we don't have to concern ourselves with, oh my gosh, we need to do this and we need to do that. It could be something as simple as that. Okay, well, from my house to yours, may God bless you. I hope you like, share, subscribe, and I hope to talk to you soon again. Bye-bye.